Hashtag Gospel with Steff
and Morgz.
Headline news whenever you news.
Super Steff is the birds of playing. It's me.
And it's Morgz.
Hashtag Gospel is now what you're listening to. We are live in the studio today, so I'm doing a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's time for the headline news right here on Hashtag Gospel. What you want to start with? Well, before I even do that, I have to introduce our special guest today. This is someone that I came up with. Someone that I grew up with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We used to talk about what we want to do when we became adults and got into our thing. And we both been doing our thing. And we actually hooked up as adults and we're doing work, ministry work and everything like that. She is the founder and owner of Saul to Paul Dance Ministry, the one and only Tifaya Noble.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Welcome today.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to have you, Morgz. I know you're excited to have her too.
Absolutely. It's always good company. So.
We've worked together with Saul to Paul so many times that y'all like family to us, for real. So it was just inevitable that you guys would get here and get on the show. So now that you're here, she's going to chime in on the talk today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yay. So what are we going to talk about first?
All right, well, I guess we'll get the most heart-wrenching one out of the way. So Sandra Bland, I don't know how you want to pronounce it. So everyone has, if you have social media, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. She's a woman who was really vocal in different rights, I believe, with like civil rights and women's rights and all that kind of stuff, judging by posts that have surfaced. She was she saw a cop behind her signaling, trying to get out the way. So she was trying to pull over, and then he stopped her, and then things kind of just went downhill from there. He was basically saying, you need to put out your cigarette, just kind of going in from she failed to signal. That's what it was. She failed to signal because she was afraid, because if you see a cop behind you, you're kind of just trying to get out the way as soon as possible. So she probably forgot to signal, or just was like, let me just get over here and let him go. He ended up stopping her and say, okay, you didn't signal, stuff like that. He even went as far as to say, you need to put out your cigarette right now. She's like, I don't have to put out my cigarette, all that kind of stuff. And it just escalated. He ended up, he said, get out the car. She said, I don't understand why I have to get out the car. He said, I will remove you from the car. I believe she ended up on the dash cam of the police car. She ends up getting out of the car, and he ends up using kind of like force on her. And there's also another cop there. I think she's African American, who was basically saying, you need to listen to this cop, like kind of co-signing what was happening. And she was like, Sandra Bland was like, I have seizures. You're hitting me right now. You're hurting me, stuff like that. And he said, good. Like the fact that she has seizures. She was calling him a lot of obscenities and stuff like that, because at this point she's just very angry. Now, fast forward to she dies in her jail cell. They first reported it that it was a suicide. Then I believe someone like 6ABC or someone came out and said it was a homicide. And now I believe they're ruling it back as a suicide. I'm a little confused. It's a lot of articles coming out at this point. But then we have her mugshot, which is a very popular picture on social media. And a lot of people are saying she must be deceased during that mugshot. And also, they say because when you're going through processing, now I've never been to jail, but I've seen movies with jail in it. But when you go through processing, you take a mugshot basically sometimes in regular clothes and stuff like that. So they're trying to figure out how is she in an orange jumpsuit. Also, you can see up her nose, which would indicate that she's laying down, right, as opposed to, a regular head-on mugshot. Then there's another article saying that here's the edited version. That's the edited version of her mugshot. Here's the unedited version, and her eyes are rolled back. Again, there's a lot of articles surfacing. I don't know which ones. If it's not by 6ABC, CNN, I'm very hesitant to even open up the article.
Did you talk about the part where they said the left side of her face was drooping down a little bit in the picture?
I didn't touch on that, but again, that will go indicate that she was laying down or deceased, because her, your face fat.
Oxygen to the brain.
The oxygen to the brain, the left side. Yeah.
So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, first off, can we rewind back? My parents have always taught me, and it's a shame that you have to have this talk with your children. But this is the talk, the other talk, how to deal with just Caucasian people in general in positions of authority, but especially cops. You always, no matter what, just be polite, be cooperative, period. You try your best to just be as nice as possible. Yes, sir. No, sir. No attitude, even if you know they're wrong. That's the way I've always been taught.
So you'll be blemish free in case, you know, you
know what I mean? Because they're looking for a reason. They're looking for a reason. So it's like, okay, let's just bump, okay, he's harassing you. Let's bump that, because that's just a fact of life in this country. Wisdom says, don't give the man no drama. Please don't do that. That's where she messed up with first. That was her first mistake, which I think kind of escalated the situation. Now,
it still doesn't warrant.
Of course, that's the next thing I'm about to say. It doesn't warrant any of that. You know what I mean? But for people listening, please take note of what not to do. Please don't do what she did. I don't have to put out my cigarette. I don't have to. Listen, just put it out. What? Just put it out. Wisdom, just put it out. Come on. You know what I mean? But I mean, so that's me. I don't think she, of course, deserved any of the rest of that stuff. And I'm leaning towards, she was dead before she took that picture.
Sick. I get sick thinking about that. But you know what? It was crazy too is I don't know. They said there are stories. You know, it's crazy. Just like whenever something gets big, they always dredge up like old stuff. They said
definitely
that
true.
They said that she was suicidal in the past. Or she had suicide attempts, so she probably did this. But then people are like, but she was literally just going in on, like, you know, being an activist and stuff like that, so it doesn't really make sense to then end her life. They're also saying she hung herself with a trash bag. Trash bags are not available to inmates, so how is that possible? You know, there's a lot of inconsistencies. Again, I don't know how jail works like that, but you know some things. Basically, if it's not bolted down, you cannot use it. You know, your bed, you can't even have like shoestrings and, you know, stuff like that, because anything could be used as a weapon or to hurt yourself, inflict harm on others. So,
how do you feel about this, Tifaya Noble?
This is a very
heavy.
Yeah, very heavy. I do, you know, my parents, just like Steffin's parents, has had that talk where this is how you act when authority, you know, comes around. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You know, thank you, please, and thank you. But on the other hand, she still didn't deserve what she got. You know, all the things that took place. I just take it as, just like we were talking previously before the show started, that we living in the last days, and these are the times and what's going on, and this is what causes us that we need to pray even more for things that are going on and educating our children about how to be in certain areas and just praying about what's going on, because that could have been any of us. Could have happened to any one of us at any given time,
which is scary. Because like kind of like you don't think it can happen in your own neighborhood, and it totally can. I remember yesterday I was on the White Horse Pike and I had my music up, you know, I was jamming or whatever, and I see everybody pulling over. I didn't see any ambulance or any cop, but then the cop came into view, and I couldn't get over because I would have like crashed into the other cars, and I immediately thought of Sandra Bland, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this could totally be me. Like, get pulled over, you didn't pull over, and I'm starting to get drug out of a car, and then my mom's on the news crying because she needs justice. Like, that's not, you know, we're not, like you were saying before, we're not exempt. Just because we're Christians, we're not exempt from, you know, the woes of this world. That's why I personally am living my life in a way, be smart. Like, you probably shouldn't, like, go on a tightrope across a bridge or something like that, like, you know, in the waters under you. Okay, use wisdom, but at the same time, certain things we're not gonna be able to control. Like, I'm not gonna stop driving just because this unfortunate event happened. I'm not making light of it at all, but when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. And again, I'm again not making light, but it's like we can't not do certain things just because we're afraid that we're gonna, you know, I feel like that was just the enemy working in me, because like, not working, but like influencing my thoughts, saying, getting scared behind the wheel because of what happened to her. No, you gotta drive, you know, like it's just so unfortunate. But like you said, we're not exempt. It could be any one of us.
Yeah.
That's why it's important that we keep praying, like you said. What stuff? I can see your.
No, I'm just still sitting here taking it all in because we got way more stuff to talk about and more drama.
Yeah.
So it just
Well,
keeps going.
You can always, everyone, we can always go on social media, see what's happening. 6ABC. It's going to be pretty sure it's going to be pretty big for a while. So.
Did y'all hear about Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
I
don't
did
know too
not.
much about it, but I heard about it.
Okay, so I have the article here, so I can actually like give y'all the facts. Okay, so he's
It's like Steffin's best friend.
he's recorded. First of all, anybody who really knows me knows that I love pro wrestling. I've loved it since I was a kid. I still love it to this day. All right, but so he's caught on tape and he's talking to his lover on tape, and what he's talking about his daughter to his lover, right? And so this is what he says about her, okay? He says, quote, "She is making some real bad decisions now. My daughter Brooke jumped sides on me. I spent 2 to 3 million on her music career. I've done everything like a JA for her." And then he goes on to say, quote, "The one option Brooke's career besides me, is to sell Beach Records." Then he goes on to say, "I don't know if Brooke is F-word the black guy's son." And then he said, am I getting too much here?
No.
And then he said, quote, "I mean, I don't have double standards. I mean, I am a racist to a point. F-word, N-words. But then when it comes to nice people and S-word and whatever," and then he continues to say, "I'd rather, if she was going to F-word some N-word, I'd rather have her marry a 8-foot tall N-word worth $100 million, like a basketball player." And he ends with, "I guess we're all a little racist. F-word, N-word." End quote.
That was really good censorship you just did. I'm so proud of you.
You saw.
Yeah, because it's really easy to just read what you see.
And that was off the fly too. Lord Jesus. My childhood is traumatized.
Yeah, I can see you're a little upset.
First Bill Cosby, all this stuff comes out about him, and now Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
But
I mean, I'm not surprised.
no,
That's what I said to Morgz earlier.
Because people, you know what I mean? Like, he was always like this, and it's just been brought up to the surface. He's just been caught up in something that just highlighted that.
I've
you know,
never like paid attention to him or anything about that. Again, I'm not impressed. I don't know. Every time I see his picture, I scroll past. I just really do. But me and Steff and I were talking about how he cannot say those things to certain people. Like, he can't say that. But how many times has a black person or even myself thought or said white people cannot dance, or Caucasian people can't dance as good as us, or something like that? And then one of our people will dare a Caucasian person to say something remotely like that. And if they say it, they're racist, they're prejudiced. We have to stop with the double standards. We got to.
Double standard, though.
It's a double standard.
See. Okay.
We cannot continue to say. That's why anytime I'm like, oh, she probably can't dance because she's Morgan. Stop. She can be better than you as a dancer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to stop myself, because if she were to say, that's like a Caucasian person saying, black people can't be surgeons, they're not smart enough. And then we would be ready to just go off. No, it's not. Both are not right.
Okay. First off,
because you about to irk me.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. First off, I'm trying to gather my thoughts. First off, I am guilty of saying, man, white people, man, crackers, or man, whatever. I am guilty of that. At the same time, when it comes to the N-word, and when it comes to racist, you got to look at the origins. You got to look at where it came from. We call each other the N-word.
You call each other. I don't use that.
I grew up in my family and around my friends, and I've heard the N-word countless times. And the thing is that it came from us being called that in a derogatory way, with hurtful intentions, and then we started calling each other it, and after a while we took the sting out of it, and we kind of turned it into a term of endearment, basically making lemonade out of lemons, the same way where we took the scraps that the slave master gave us and we turned it into soul food. And now both of those things have become a tradition in our culture, and it's something that we took the sting out of, and like I said, made lemonade out of lemons. So number one, could we stop eating soul food? Yeah. Could we stop saying the N-word? Yeah. But at the end of the day, we know that it came from us making lemonade out of lemons. So it's part of our tradition because we're making lemonade out of lemons, not because we said, "Oh, we're going to come and just be derogatory towards each other." No, who brought that? Who brought that to us? You already know who brought that to us. You understand what I'm saying to you? So for the people who brought that to us, who brought us the lemons, and didn't expect us to make lemonade, just wanted us to suffer, then we made lemonade out of it. For them to come and criticize us making lemonade now is like crazy. It's like they're out of bounds. It's like, fall back. You have no say so about this.
Okay, but
back up. That's number one. Number two. What? I mean, listen.
If you're and you're as in,
so what I'm
in
saying
general,
is white people don't have any say over us using the N-word. That's number one. You can't. No, just stop. Stop.
I'm gonna just say this. Yeah, our ancestors or people in your community may have say, "Yo, what's up, ma?" Because it's a term of endearment, but that doesn't make it okay. If my mother or somebody in my family is suffering from diabetes because of their poor eating habits, so it's now okay. Oh, it was passed down to me, because I don't know if that connects with what we're saying. But
thank you, Lashani and Gandhi Smith, for listening and telling me that I made a great point just now. She just texted me.
Listen,
no doubt, love you, sis. Keep going.
I'm just saying it doesn't make it right to me.
It doesn't make it right,
it's
but
a derogatory
it's not their place to tell us that it ain't. It's none of your business. This is a family matter. Back up.
I'm not part of that family then.
What? Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not ever calling someone.
I'm not saying that you're gonna. I'm not saying you should. What I'm saying is this is a family matter. You know what I mean? That we need to handle, and they shouldn't feel comfortable calling us that, because it wasn't part of their tradition. It wasn't part of their culture. This lemonade is not part of their culture. Okay? They don't understand. They don't even understand why we truly say it. They don't understand it.
Okay, but on the same
until you've been kicked out of CVS when you were 10 years old, just because you were in there looking at a magazine. I'm talking to Caucasians. I'm talking to Caucasians. Until you experience something like that, no, you can't tell me about me saying what's up my N-word to my sister.
Okay, but guess
what? Which I do
Steffin?
sometimes.
We're dealing with people that have nothing to do with that whole oppression. People that are our age, they did not personally do that kind of stuff. So why? I just think I don't like your argument.
My point is the same reason why black people are calling each other N-words today, or is like you said.
I'm offended.
Like you said, it wasn't their tradition. You just said it wasn't Caucasians' tradition to use the N-word like that, like what's up my N-word, right? And that's our experience. So they don't have any say so over our experience, especially when you're the culprit for why we, suffered the way we suffered. And I'm not saying, oh my goodness, I'm just walking around all day like a mad black man.
How long are we going to play the blame game, though? Like,
it's not about the blame game. It's about mind your business game.
Mind your business, yo.
Mind your business, yo. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? About this type of family matter. This is now, if Dick Gregory want to yell at me for saying it, then okay. If Bill Cosby want to yell at me, well, he ain't gonna yell at me no more. He gonna go sit down somewhere now. Ooh. But I'm just saying.
Yikes!
I'm just saying. Okay, I'll listen to Pop. I'll listen to my grandfather talking to me. Mm-hmm. But no, not you. Not some random person. Well, if you guys can say it, then that means I might as well be able to say it. No.
I mean, I guess I understand what you're saying.
Okay, and we didn't even get that's so it's not a double standard, is what I'm saying to you, as far as us using the N-word and them using the N-word. It is not a double standard.
I'm gonna tag Tifaya in.
And I don't even think it's double standard when we say about Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to what both of you guys were saying. I mean, personally, I don't like to be called the N-word from Caucasians or black
No doubt,
African Americans.
no doubt,
You know,
no
and
doubt.
I won't do it either. So it's kind of
No
just
doubt.
like I don't want to be called that, so you don't call me that. I don't see it as a term of endearment, but I can see how it can be used by our culture as a term of endearment. So I sympathize with your side of it and Steffin's at the same time. So I'm kind of caught like in the middle at a crossroads with that.
I hear you. Okay, well,
No, that makes sense because
Yeah.
I mean I've had friends that say that, and I'll be like, hey, you know, it kind of offends me. Could you like not call me that? Like some of my friends, like they'd be like, oh, well, actually none of my friends in this juncture, but I've had some of my friends say that's my B word, like talking about me, and I was like,
Right.
yeah, I was like, and again,
see now that's not a part of our tradition.
Right, but what
that's
I'm
just a part of
saying-
them being stupid.
Yeah.
That's,
but what I'm saying
you know what I mean?
is, I'll be like, hey, you know, I kind of don't really like to be called that. Like, it's kind of offensive to me. But still, that is, first of all, it's a female dog first. But, you know, I guess because women have been called that, and now they use it as a term of endearment to each other. That's my.
Right, but they don't have to.
You don't have to use it as a. I'm sorry to turn
I
up
know,
like that, but
I know that you don't have to. I'm saying that because it was
go home.
we were slaves for how many years? We were being called that for how many? And we were being called that for how many years before we could actually talk back, without facing some type of crazy like repercussions for it. Before we could say that, hey, don't call me that. How many years did we have to get called that in a derogatory way without us not being able to speak up about it? So what could we do? We took the power out of it. That's all we had. That's all we could do. Just
your
like with
oppression
soul
starts
food.
in your mind. You're
That's
still
just like
under.
with-
I feel like you're still under oppression if you continue to use that word because
Listen,
it's still in here.
You cannot walk up to a grandmother and say, just stop saying that word. Listen, it's part of tradition now. And guess what? You haven't even been through half of what she been through.
And that's
so to
that's
tell her
fine.
to criticize how she got through it is wrong.
But listen, I'm not in any way. I'm not minimizing Grandma's story or Pop-Pop's story because it had to have been real. I don't know how I would have fared in that type of environment. I mean, we see racism now, but it was nothing like to the scale of back then. So yes, I do sympathize, but at the same time, Mary said, take the shackles off my feet so that I can dance. And if you're Spanish, bailar. So I'm not going to use that word. It's oppressive to me. When I was called
No
that by
doubt.
my friends,
No doubt.
I felt like inferior because I know the origin.
I feel you.
That's how I felt. And
I feel
so
you.
I'm not going to say that to someone. And I'm not going to allow, I mean, if you call me that, I have no choice over your words, but I'm going to be like, please do not do that.
Now that I think about it too, I'm thinking like if I was a Caucasian friend, African American friend, I'm sitting here thinking like, how would I feel like if one of my African American friends came up to me and say, hey, my nigga, I'm like, don't call me
Yeah.
that. But I was thinking if one of my Caucasian friends or someone that was Caucasian came up and said, don't use that or call me that, I think I will be way more highly offended.
Yeah.
From them
I
as
would
I
say-
would my African American, and that could be part of what your thing is
The
about
cultural
sharing.
experience.
Even though I don't agree with it,
Yeah.
even though I don't agree with using that term, I would take offense to depending
Yeah.
who would call me that.
Yeah, I agree with that because I'd be like, "What?" I would say, "What?" Like I have a lot of feelings and I have a lot of emotions right now.
And I mean, a lot of us, I give credit. Like a lot of us, we know what to do. We know that that's a family
Yeah.
thing. So when we out and what I don't like is when we're out in public and we're out in the street and it's like, what's up, my and we're like, nah, chill. Like that's a family thing. Like, how you doing? What's going on, man? How you doing today? How are you today, sir? Like you know how to. It's a time and place for everything. So I do say that. What I want to know now is what's the verdict for Hulk Hogan in y'all mind? Is his career over? Because WWE fired him.
Oh, really?
And they erased everything on their website, everything in their history. I think they're about to remove him from the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
They took his cartoon off. They took him out of the video games. They did everything.
Well, they probably have to do that to save their own company.
Yeah.
Of
because
course.
people are going to
most
be like,
definitely.
"Oh, they support that. I'm not supporting them."
Yeah.
I literally care more about the bug that I had to kill in my car than I care about this story. To be honest, like I don't care because people say what they say. Now, if he was someone that maybe I really was into, like, oh, he's a great, like, say if
Like me?
Okay, whatever. say if Brett. No, I'm not really. Who's Matthew McConaughey? I like Matthew McConaughey as an actor. If he were to say that, I'd be like, "What, Matthew? Are you kidding me?" Like I would.
Plays the same character like in every movie. But anyway.
Whoa,
sorry,
shady.
I'm sorry.
So many palm trees. But I'm saying I would be more offended with that. But okay, because of sin nature, we are all flawed, and because of sin nature, we're going to hear these kind of things all the time. So I'm not going to get bent out of shape over what anyone said about that. I understand some people are very prejudiced. Unfortunately, we all have a little bit of and if you don't have a little bit of prejudice in you, I would like to meet you so that I can learn your ways. But how many times have I looked at a Middle Eastern person and a thought came through my head and I was like, hope they don't have any weapons or something like that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But because of what happened at 9/11 and things like that, those are the thoughts that are running through my head. And then immediately I rebuke that, because you have to treat every person as a person. And just because, you don't have to act on your feelings. We don't have control of our thoughts. We have control if we act on them and stuff like that. That's how I feel. So, we all have a little bit of prejudice in us, unfortunately. And I believe that just comes with the sin nature. And every day we have to cast it down. Let our spirit man rise up and power over that mess. So that's just that.
I ain't mad at Hulk Hogan because I think, like you said earlier, how many people do we support?
It's so many.
We support their work, but they're racist. So it's like,
we're wearing this, and we're paying for this, and we're listening to this type of CD.
Right.
But
I'm not gonna do a witch hunt, because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna enjoy the work. I'm gonna chew the meat and spit out the bones on that situation. But dag Hulk Hogan, Hulk
Get some
Hogan.
intercessory prayer for Steffin after this.
Absolutely.
Intercede for the brother.
Yeah.
I am a little traumatized by it.
He a little upset.
I'm a little traumatized because it's Hulk Hogan. Let me tell you something, brother. Now every time I think about it, it's like, let me tell you something, N-word. It's like, no.
Oh my
God. Praise by the Waves just happened, and we got a call. So talk about how you feel about Praise by the Waves while I answer this phone.
You talking about the Revive AC one that just happened?
Yes.
Well, again, I wasn't there, but I always love when something positive happens in the community. I remember at the church service Steph and I were at last night, they were talking about how sometimes you can't just force feed. Well, you can't force feed anyone Jesus anyway, but say if it's maybe a person that's homeless or something like that, you don't have to automatically say, "Do you know Jesus?" Maybe give them a meal, and then as the Spirit leads, then you guide them into that, something like that. So I think a concert of that type is really cool. Get the community together. Somebody might be walking down the street or riding down the street and be like, "Oh, I wonder what's happening there."
Yeah.
It kind of introduces you into that little "Oh, I wonder what they're doing." And that's we have to treat people with love and respect and stuff like that. So
yeah, most definitely.
Did you go to that concert?
No, I did not, but I heard about it. I was actually away that week.
Yeah, so Steffin definitely got a lot of interviews and stuff that I wish I could have witnessed, but I had to go to work, so it was pretty cool. So I'm happy that the concert happened. I hear it went well.
Yeah.
A couple of my friends went and he said it went well, so glory be to God. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more concerts. I'm looking at some flyers, see what they got up there now. And that way I'll be able to make some more. My work schedule is consistent now, so I'm happy about that.
Shout out to the lady who just called. She didn't want to get on the air. She was talking about what we were just talking about. She's very passionate about it, but she didn't want to get on the air. And I told her, I wish I could stay on the phone with you, but I still got to run the show.
Yeah.
So, oh man. So hopefully she'll call back and want to actually be on the air. So yeah.
Totes.
But Praise by the Waves was fun, and I really missed you being there. And I'm sad that you didn't go. You missed a good show.
I wasn't there. I heard. I was keeping up with it on Facebook and everything. I saw we were talking about the interviews that you were.
Oh yeah, you saw those?
Yeah.
It was fun. I wish Morgz was there, but we were in the VIP section the whole time. We got to watch the whole concert from the Skybox thing.
That's
and
cool.
Man, the highlights for me. Number one was Bishop Lyles running a home run. Shout out to
cool.
Bishop Lyles. He literally, like, he was with the choir, and he got down and ran
He better
around
run for his
the
blessing.
bases. I was like, yo, what is going on?
Home
And
run for Jesus.
Like, the crowd went wild when he did
Really?
that, and he literally ran the whole thing and
I know
came
that's
back.
right.
I was like, yes, please get Bishop some water right now. Get him some water or
Please.
something. Praise him. He had his wind is up. So he's in some good shape to be doing that. Praise the Lord. And also Ricky Dillon and Nuji, they showed out. They showed out. I got to interview Lillian Lloyd, the lady who sings One More Chance.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she had a lot of great things to say, but then she got up there and sang One More Chance, and she showed out. She just got on the ground and just was laid out.
I
and
said
just,
I could have went crazy. One more.
oh
I
my
could have went
goodness.
cuckoo. Like, yes.
Yo, so those were really the highlights for me. Definitely the highlights for me.
Hopefully they'll bring
Yeah.
that back.
He's horrible with like ending things.
With ending things,
all
right?
you had to say was, all you had to do was, yeah, this was the highlights for me. And so when like, there's no reason for you to have that blank stare after each, like,
Well, I mean, you had to.
I'm
You just
looking
looking
at you
at-
because you're talking. You have to learn how to not be, Steffin, you're so extra.
Why am I extra? Why am I
Yes,
extra?
it was great. yeah. Like,
I was making the same face you were making because we were talking and you made the face on the first and I made the face
because
back.
I knew that it was coming, that abrupt. You
I
did
finished
it.
my sentence.
When we hosted that thing last night, you did it there as well, in front of the people of God. And I was like,
Oh my gosh. How about that thing last night with the puppets though?
super cute, super powerful.
Yo, we
One
saw
puppet was ministering to me.
we
'cause he
saw
was
some
looking at me.
puppets, the puppets of praise, what they would call it. Man, they were highlight of the night for me. Puppets of praise. Like how I feel about Saul Paul Dance
Yeah.
Ministry is how I feel about Puppets of Praise.
Yeah.
Like we need
I
to
gotta
see them.
check them out.
They're super, yeah. I was showing Tifaya on my Snapchat a little segment, and
Yeah.
doesn't compare to it live. They was really getting hype. I said, this puppet better do it right now.
I better check them out for the recital next year.
Yo, they
Yes.
are
Oh, my
nice
goodness.
for real.
That would be, I think that would be great.
And so, I mean, we've went from police brutality to the N-word to puppets and Bishop Lyles running the bases at the. we've covered the whole spectrum. It's time to get back into this music. We're gonna come back. We're gonna actually talk with Tifaya Noble some more about Salt Ball Dance Ministry and their powerful ministry. All right,
Yes.
641-8870 is the number to call. Right now, it's time to get back into the music, y'all. If y'all got some stuff to say to us, again, 641-8870 is the number to call. Don't be shy. All right.
Yep.
And now it's time to get back to the music, y'all. Super Steff is the Birds are playing. It's me.
And it's Morgan.
Cash
Also,
up.
it's air code 609, just in case you're like listening online.
True, right. You got a huge audience online around the world. 609-641-8870. 609-641-8870.
One more time.
609-641-8870. And we'll be back. All right.
Oh! All right, company, we gonna set this one up.
We live in God's imagination, and Steffin Phifer is my name and occupation.
Hello, and this is Steffin Phifer in the house. Welcome to the Steffin Show.
Still got it.